5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sync.
Sync.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 262 of the TTV Podcast. I'm Meso.
I'm Var.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Ven. I'm Takuma.
I'm Prpl.
I'm the Exex Trooper.
And I'll be honest, I forgot I was hosting. For a split second, I forgot that I was supposed to be, like, doing stuff.
So we haven't started that yet. What are you doing?
Yeah, right.
Those things are
made that
incoming.
change yet.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, you gotta slow down. You gotta take a chill pill. You gotta appreciate life for what it is.
And I appreciate life.
Do you?
That was the most
understand
unconvincing.
Dying out inside there. I enjoy life.
I appreciate
But I
life.
just want to die.
I guess it's okay sometimes.
I really
Do you
like
understand life?
life. I'm really happy.
Do any of us really understand life? Or do we just fake our way
Nobody
through
caught
it?
that room reference. I'm
I mean,
really
yeah.
disappointed in you guys.
Let's
Dude,
not get
who-
too
Sorry.
existential.
I
Who
don't know
is
what you're talking
uploading
about.
stuff to Dropbox right now? Stop it. I'm just
I know,
getting
right? It's in the
notifications.
it's like the stream recording.
Oh, crap. That's annoying. Can we stop
Yeah.
that?
Pause.
You can
You
just,
just
stop
can
it.
pause your syncing.
just
Oh,
pause
yeah.
your syncing, dude.
Okay, fine. I'll pause my syncing.
Yeah, just pause your syncing.
I'm sorry.
Here's
I'll
what I'm
pause-
thinking.
And turn off your. Turn on your bathing.
Here's what I'm thinking.
Wow.
Pause your sinking.
Bathing.
I don't feel I need to.
I love how that's
Do I
your
need
version of beatboxing. I love how that's like.
Oh,
I
God.
usually just say
Ooga
this.
chaka,
and then
ooga chaka.
It sounds like
Cats
it
and
sounds
birds.
like you're saying a
Feel
Pokemon
it.
name really fast. Pukicha.
Pukicha.
What?
It sounded like you were
The
trying to say
epic sequel.
Pokemon, but you got a stroke.
Dude, we got a lot of people on this episode.
Or actually, no. It sounds more like. Oh no. What you're saying
Puchiena.
actually sounds kind of like a swear in Spanish.
Puchiena,
Never mind.
puchiena,
No, hey, we're gonna cut that right there.
Yeah, we're gonna cut that out.
Yeah, we're gonna cut that out.
Yeah, we're gonna cut that out.
We're
And
gonna
we're
cut
gonna
that out?
we're gonna cut it out. We're gonna apply some paste to the back of it, and we're gonna slap that right onto the next thing, which is what, Meso? Thanks, Meso. Good job. You're really good at this.
How's everybody's week been? Question mark.
Wow.
Ryan,
Good.
school started for me, and I've like this 8 a.m. class. Well, it's 8:30 actually, but I've actually been like able to wake up naturally for it, which is insane. I can never wake up before 2 p.m. naturally, and yet I've been doing it like all week.
Yeah, that's
for
what happens
you.
when you actually go to bed at a normal time.
I know.
Yeah.
You've been like going to
actually,
bed
I went to bed at 2
early.
a.m. last night, but I still woke up early.
My God.
My week has been very busy.
Oh boy.
What's going on then?
Okay, so there's been this thing. My buddy James has been wanting to celebrate
boy.
his birthday.
Oh gosh, not another Vin friend story.
Oh boy.
Man's friends
It'll
are
be
great.
brief, okay?
Okay,
Or
no,
I'll
no,
try
no.
to keep it brief.
15 minutes later.
His birthday
Turns out it's gonna
was
be
on
boxers.
His birthday was on the 31st. Happy birthday, James. His birthday was on the 31st, and he's been wanting to do this big get-together, get all of our friends together, even though we've done that, like, however many times in the past month. But he wanted to do it again. I mean, to be fair, sure, it's his birthday, whatever. He wanted to get everybody together to go out and do a bunch of different things. Like, he's talking about, let's go hiking, let's go and do this, let's go to the beach, let's have a bonfire, da-da-da-da-da. So many ideas that he'd post to our little group chat, and he wouldn't make a decision until maybe a couple of days beforehand, where it's too late for some of my friends to call off work, and some of my friends could actually barely make it because they had other stuff already going on the day that he finally chose.
But
So-
then, let's do something.
The day beforehand, people still don't know exactly what's going on because James is still posting, oh, we could do all this after the hike. We could go eat food at a Taco Bell or da-da-da-da-da and this and that, and people are still getting confused. So finally we decided, okay, here's the plan. We're gonna meet up at my place because for some reason James volunteered my place for everybody to meet up at. I don't know why. I really don't. But we'll meet at my place. We'll go hiking. Then we'll go have a bonfire at a beach, whatever time that we're ready to go. And the people that show up to my place are, of course, myself, because I'm not gonna not be there, and James. And that's it.
Rick.
Hey.
Oh no.
That's a great birthday. I
Well,
love
no,
it.
we actually did rope in another friend of ours, but it was just the three of us, right? Just the three of us when we invited like 10 people.
Oh,
So-
dude, didn't you tell the story on the chat that I didn't read?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
So as the day goes on, it starts getting late. Like we met up at around 1:30. We don't see anybody. We don't get anybody else to come over until like 4. And so by then we're thinking, well, the hike's probably not gonna happen. But in the meantime, it was cool. We played a little bit of Guitar Hero, had a fun time, just chilling. And then when we finally left, we had to go pick up another friend before we were off to the beach. And as we're driving around, we're like, oh, let's go pick up some food. There's a Safeway up the street. You guys know Safeway, right? So wait, who here has a local Safeway?
I don't have one, but I
no
have
idea
trips
what
for
that
there
is.
all the time.
I have
so
no
it's,
idea what that is.
I know
it's
what
become
it is.
immersed in my collective
I know
consciousness.
about Shapeway.
Dude,
Do you like-
Shapeways.
Wait, for those of you who don't have a Safeway, where do you usually like pick up your groceries?
Harris Teeter.
Walmart.
Island.
Harris Teeter.
Sam's
Oh, that's
Club,
right. I remember
Harris
that.
Teeter,
Harris Teeter.
Walmart, Food Line,
Target.
Target.
You guys
I
got
like
Target for groceries?
exclusively
A few.
Myers.
I could see
Not
that.
if
wait,
it's
wait.
like
The-
not
My
if it's, like,
Target,
important
my Target has a lot of
groceries.
gluten-free stuff.
Do you not
I
have
bet the
Target
Super
for
Target
groceries?
over in Virginia has like a lot of nice. Anyway, whatever.
North
so
Carolina.
we go to Safeway. There's a Safeway up the street from the beach. We go there. We pick up some stuff, firewood, stuff for the bonfire,
Fire.
really, and then a couple of snacks. Whatever. We leave, and then we're like, "All right, James, where are we going? Are we going anywhere else next? Is there any other stop we should make before we go to the beach?" And James is like, "Well, I want to get some food. Maybe we can go to the Taco Bell that's a little bit closer to the beach." And then one of my other friends points out, "Oh, but there's a Burger King like right around the corner from where we are right now. We could just go there." And we're like, "Nah, let's do the Taco Bell. James wants Taco Bell. It's his birthday thing. Let's do that. Let's go." So we drive all the way to the Taco Bell. It is a farther stretch of a drive towards the beach. So we go to the Taco Bell. It's closed. And we keep driving, and we're like, okay, great. Now what? We're like, okay, fine. Let's just go all the way back to the Burger King then. So we drive all the way back by the Safeway, and we go to the Burger King. It's closed. And right next to the Burger King, there's a deli. So we're like, oh,
What time was this
well,
again?
by this point, it's like 6 o'clock.
Wait, in the morning?
Is it a
Or
Sunday
evening?
or?
No, I don't mean like it's closed. Like they closed early or anything. I mean like it doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So the Taco Bell that we wanted to go to doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
The Burger King we wanted to go to no longer exists.
No way.
So we had to constantly. We're like yelling at each other in the car, like, "Why didn't anybody Google this? Why didn't anybody make sure to know where we're going? And
I mean, yeah, that's a
Why
very
didn't- why
legitimate.
why didn't we plan all this?" Meanwhile, I'm in the backseat just laughing at all the chaos. So I'm like, I expected the day to kind of go awry, and it was just really funny. So then we go to the deli right next to where the Burger King used to be. Rest in peace, Burger King. And we get food there. We head to the bonfire. We get set up and everything. Oh, stupid part was we parked so far away from where the actual fire pits were. Because there are dedicated fire pits located on the beach. They're on like the far left side of the beach. We parked on the far right for some reason.
Nice.
Even though James knew that the fire pits were on the left and he didn't say anything until we started walking. We're walking with all the stuff. A friend of mine is carrying a big cooler filled with stuff. And then we're like, all right, where are the fire pits? Oh, yeah, all the way down there. Well, gee, thanks. You know, I guess we're halfway there. We make it to the fire pits. We get set up. We start putting the wood in there. Another friend of ours meets up with us. Then we realize that nobody brought a frickin' lighter. So we can't even light the fire.
Of course.
No way.
Of course.
How could it all go so wrong?
You guys you're really good at planning stuff. It sounds like you're
Listen,
really.
when I plan stuff with them, it's usually on point. I did not have no problems when I planned out my little birthday festivities not too long before. It's when James attempts to plan stuff.
It's just people aren't committing. That's the issue. Like, no one's like, I want to do this. And they're like, 2 weeks in advance, they're like, let's do that.
That was definitely the problem. There was no commitment to what we should have done that day. And I feel like once we finally went into it, it was just kind of like, well, there's a word I really want to use for this, but it wouldn't be appropriate. So instead, I'll say, well, let me think of a substitute. Not as well thought out.
Oh, wow, that's
I
good.
guess.
Yeah.
That's so stupid, but
Way to-
whatever.
way to
Anyway,
keep that.
so we texted one of our friends that was still like on their way to the bonfire, and we told him to bring a lighter. And thankfully, he happened to be right next to the Safeway, so he went there, got the lighter, brought it to the bonfire. We actually lit the fire and had a good time from there on out, and that was the. And it's kind of funny how, like, even though the day started out so like messy and everything's all over the place, not well planned out, we still managed to have a great time out of all of it. So, moral of the story is don't be so indecisive, and bonfires are cool.
Nice,
It's
dude.
not about the destination.
I'll be honest, man.
It's about the journey.
When I said that you are it'd be the 15-minute mark by the time you're done with the video. I didn't think we'd actually, or that story, didn't think we'd actually be that close to the 15-minute mark. Look at
Yeah,
this.
it's like 12 minutes right now. We're like,
Very accurate.
Yeah.
Man, has it already been 10 whole minutes?
I like
dude.
your life, Vin. It's a full of excitement and whoa and stuff to know.
It kind of reminds me of when we were at Brickfair and we went to that
Kmart.
the
and it was
Kmart.
closed.
Yeah, it was closed.
I
To be
remember
honest,
that.
it's
No,
like
this whole ordeal reminded me so much of Brickfair.
yeah, everything went wrong at Brickfair. It was great. Nothing went right. We had plans.
I
they all fell
completely
through.
understand where you were coming from, where it was just like everyone is in a state of turmoil. and
Yeah,
you
I
just
loved
can't-
it. I thought it was so funny. Everything
Yeah.
went wrong at Brickfair.
No,
Just because
I-
like I was one of the people who didn't want to go to Brickfair, and like everybody else was super happy and excited to do it. And me being me, I really enjoy it when people aren't happy and sad and depressed and stuff because I'm an awful person. So after all the work that we did to get to Brickfair, and as everything around us crumbled before us, I was just laughing inside.
It was like
It was
also
the best
validation
time
because we were
ever.
like,
It's like, oh,
you know?
we're
But in
we're
the
losing
end, it
people
all
at
worked out.
Brickfair.
Literally,
we
we
lost
came
a
to-
set.
we literally came to Brickfair and we were like, yeah, guys, let's not get our channel deleted. And
Yeah,
that
that
worked
too.
out.
Hey
Channel
guys, I
was
just got
completed.
an email. Our channel's gonna get deleted.
Good times.
I remember like not screaming, but like yelling out in the middle of an episode, and you guys are like, "Dude, what? Shut up! What is so important that you have to yell about it in the middle of the thing?"
I was really annoyed with you because like we were having fun, doing a good time, and like just like doing stuff, and then like you just start like screaming in the middle of it. I'm just like, shut up, dude, be quiet.
right. I was like, "Our channel's being shut down." Everyone was like, "What?" And I like, held up the
What?
phone, and they're like,
To
passing
be
it around.
honest, even after you told me that, I was like, cool. Now shut up. Just like I just wanted you to go away. It's such an inconvenience.
Oh
It's an
boy.
inconvenience to be sure.
Anyway,
Well, before we move on to anything else, we'd like to talk about it. I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our sponsors, like Patreon, TTV message boards. Are they sponsors? But they're what we're going to plug today. So if you want to help us and listen to our podcasts live and be part of the live studio audience, check us out on Patreon. $1 is all it will take. And we greatly appreciate your support. You can interact with such people as Pila Carr, who says, yo.
That guy
Great
sucks.
interactions you can get. Pila Carr is great.
come on, guys, you
Feeling
can pay
cards are
$1
amazing. Don't you say anything otherwise, man.
you can pay $1 to hear me say you suck on the podcast live. Isn't that what you've always
you go.
wanted?
And then also the TTV message boards. If you want to go check those out, they're a place that exists.
Meso, dude, you
plays a
You sound like you're dying. Like
you got it.
actively.
You got to get a little
You
more.
gotta
pep
give a
in
little
there.
more pep in your
subscribe to her.
tongue.
You gotta
Messa,
like.
have you not slept a lot since
So what,
Tuesday?
We had a talk last night, and I went to bed afterwards, and I could not get to sleep.
Oh.
I think I laid in bed for like 2.5 hours.
Well, you
It's
know
like-
what,
Oh, I've
Meso?
done that
Stick and
before.
turn.
This actually works quite well in your
Wasn't
favor
good.
then, because now we're gonna stop doing the podcast in the mornings and it's the evenings instead. You'll be able to like actually be awake for them, maybe.
And never news. Messi
Yeah,
no longer
all the
hosting,
podcasts
so.
I'll be there for. 1 out of 3.
Yeah, dude.
You want to talk about that?
No,
Yeah.
let's talk about the changes a little bit.
So, yeah, we're gonna be changing the
A
content
lot
schedule.
of big changes are coming to the channel.
Coming your way.
For the longest time, one of our like, I guess higher regarded perks of being a patron is that you get to listen to all of our podcasts live. As we're recording it, like right now, for instance, we're recording our podcast. We have our lovely audience in Patreon here, listening in and commenting and threatening to fire me in the chat. But the worst part about it was that we never really had like a set schedule for any of our episodes. Like we kind of did, but we never really adhered to them that
We'd
well.
change it at the drop of a dime, like shift it around if
Yeah.
we need to not tell patrons. It's like, you know.
It was pretty frustrating, I'm assuming, for everybody involved. So it was one of those things where
Including
people
us,
weren't
definitely.
quite sure when to show up to listen to things. So we now finally have an actual schedule for things, which is great, by the way, because now we actually know who's going to be on what ahead of time and when things are going to release ahead of time and when things are going to be ahead of time. It's amazing for everyone involved. So if you're a patron or you're thinking about becoming a patron, now's the best time to do it. Because
Yeah,
you
I'm surprised I didn't do this before.
Because now
things
it's
are
so
done to it.
clear. Everything's beautiful and awesome. So,
Yeah.
We are drunk with organizational power.
is it? Yeah, right?
It's in
Isn't
the
it
announcements chat. Look at this. It's pretty great.
Yeah, the main change from a listener's perspective is for the TTV podcast. We're gonna be cycling hosts for it
Yes.
instead of me hosting. So, rip my streak. 261 episodes. I think I missed a total of 5. In all.
That's not much of a streak if you've already missed a couple.
I guarantee it's like 5, 6, 7 times what you guys have done.
What?
I don't know, man. I think I've been on more podcasts than you.
So the main purpose for that is so like we've done it to where different people are on different episodes, as Var said, trying to get everybody on the podcast at least once every few weeks, and schedules have made that very difficult to coordinate with school and work and etc. etc. I'm being sacrificed for Invictus Mange, so make sure, audience. Make sure that Mange talks on episodes. Make sure you guys make sure he's the most talkative, insightful, funny dude.
Have you listened to the last BrickFeed one, right? He actually talked quite a
I
lot
did.
on that one.
He did. He talked quite a bit. I
think
was very happy.
we're all getting into that thing of like, hey, let's pick up the pace. Let's try
Let's
to
get
everyone
into the
involved.
groove.
Let's get
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of getting into the groove,
Go on.
a beautiful game came out earlier this week.
Go on.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know, it's time to talk about Lego Worlds
Dude,
hype
all
for the
right,
Nintendo
guys.
Switch.
Knack 2, baby!
Woo!
Knack
Like,
Ooh, baby.
Knack
No,
2,
I-
everybody. It's great.
Give
You
it
I've
here.
never heard of the-
Yeah, I'm
I've
telling
never
you,
even
man,
heard of
it's
the
great.
first one.
never heard
I
of Knack
picked up
1?
Lego
Knack
Worlds.
1
Game
is
of
like
the
the
year.
greatest meme ever of all time, Takuma.
Greatest meme.
It's
I
the
beg your
best
pardon.
game.
It's the
You
best
ever heard
game.
of Rick Jones?
Oh, we're talking about the meme.
No, we're talking about the game. The game's great.
Oh, we're
we're
talking
talk-
about the game now?
We're talking
Then-
about everything.
Or are we talking about the meme or the game?
Game meme.
Are we talking about the game or the meme?
Meso Knack 2, baby!
Meso Knack
Or
2!
that? This or that?
Takuma, which
This
one
or
was
that?
your favorite Knack? Knack 1 or Knack 2?
Do you even
I've
like
never even
Knack?
heard of them.
Do you
That
even
doesn't
Knack,
answer
bro?
the question!
Yeah, come on, dude. I asked you a specific question.
Yes!
I've got a knack for video games.
Okay,
Oh,
I'll go for retroactive Knack 0.
Oh, that one
That's-
was a pretty good one. Okay. yeah.
Even though it was a spin-off, it had a lot
My
of...
favorite thing
I
about
like
that
that
game.
story development for sure.
Yeah, no, I really like my favorite part of that game is how it didn't exist.
The
and
voice
like-
acting could have used some work though.
It was really,
They could have hired voice actors.
I don't know.
They could have hired one.
Instead of it just being Microsoft Sam, you know?
Right?
Oh my gosh, reviving BIONICLE voicing a video game.
But Meso,
Oh, I'd play
there
it.
Meso, there was
I
like
would totally play
this release of this other little game.
Was there?
The Lego
was-
Worlds on the
Lego
Switch.
Worlds.
No,
Yeah,
I wanted
Lego
to bring that
Worlds.
up real quick because I'm gonna actually talk about the game on BrickFeed. But look at this real quick. There's this little sticker on the front of the packaging. I hope I'm posting it to the right chat.
I don't see it, so I don't think
I
you
don't
know.
see
it's
it.
just sorry. It's just taking forever to post on
I
the
think
chat
you
for some
done
reason.
skididdly diddly done diddly done did it.
There we go.
Hey.
There's that sticker, right?
Yeah.
Two
two bonus snacks.
Oh boy.
Now, I want
Bonus.
you guys... Can you see the expiration date on that sticker?
Yes.
9/5/24.
Uh-oh.
2024.
Wait.
6 years, 7 years. Why?
Yeah, I thought, oh no, at first too, until I read the year, and I was like, wait a minute. They really think, because this is on the plastic part of the packaging. So it's like, they really think, somebody's gonna pick this game up new in 2024?
Are we
Listen,
gonna
like
play
brand new
games
copy.
in 2024?
Like, I'm just saying, I feel bad. Like, say the day
I mean,
is...
you never know, man. You never know.
Say the day is September 6th, 2025. This one guy just picks up a brand new copy of Lego Worlds for the Switch. He's like,
I mean, I would.
boy, I can
And it's
get these
expired.
minifigures.
Listen,
oh,
dude.
no.
2024 is in 7 years.
There could be a
Y'all are gonna be
7-year-old
so
person who
old.
wasn't born when this game came out that will want the game.
Oh.
Maybe that's just when they plan to shut down whatever servers or something. I don't know. So they're just like, how long are we gonna have these servers? Oh, we paid for them through 9 to whatever 24. It's like, okay.
Exactly.
A moment
That's-
of silence
that's definitely an
for Lego
interesting thought.
Universe.
Yeah.
I know,
There you
right?
go. That was it. That's what
R.I.P.
it deserved.
R.I.P.
I
Lego
tried
Universe.
the
I always wanted to
Arcade
play
game
that.
I never
Dude,
played.
I always wanted to
I
play
tried
it.
to
and
might
beta test
try
that,
that
but
too.
it was so buggy that it wasn't really all that
Same.
fun.
I was a beta
I
tester
love
and I
buggy
couldn't play
games,
it.
though.
I couldn't play it.
Same.
Didn't work
I
on my
wanted
computer.
to try it, and I looked it up, and it's just like, oh, it's dead. Because I remember like going on the website and like watching all these like development videos and like teasers and all that. I'm like, yeah, and then I wasn't really there when it came out, and then I was like, oh, Lego Universe was a thing. Oh, I want to try that, and then it had gotten shut down.
Yeah.
It had Ninjago in it. It's like, why did
Yep.
it die,
Sensei
man?
Wu was there.
Ninja Go was in it.
Ninja goes all the mad.
Oh, I love
Yep.
Ninjago.
I
That actually
love
sounds like a way cooler way to say
non-
Ninjago, to be honest.
I know. I
Ninjago.
love noodle
Goes.
blocks.
Ninjago is my favorite.
That
What are
sounds
we
French.
doing?
People keep posting Messanak memes.
Meso and Exx, baby.
Oh my gosh.
This is the
Let's
best.
do this.
Dude, Vin on the cover.
And Trooper. My gosh, you didn't see
Oh,
Trooper?
I saw Trooper. I just thought Vin was really funny. That's why I pointed him out.
Oh, okay.
Only. Come on, Takuma. Why are you trying to
not
throw
as
me under the
funny
bus?
as
Why are you
Vin.
trying to start fights?
Trying to
Why
throw
are you
shade.
trying to
briefly,
throw some shade?
What's
Yeah,
up?
Takuma.
He's got
I
enough
wanna,
shade.
I
He's
want to
not in the
talk
sun
very
right now.
quickly
Yeah.
about a new show we launched today.
Dude, I'm not gonna throw shade. That stuff caught just enough on the street as it is.
What's going on?
So we
Joe?
launched a new show today. Well, you've been working
Did
on
we?
it for... Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I've been working on it for a total of 2 days.
You've been working on it... I was going to say you've been working on it for a long time, buddy.
It's been in the pipeline for forever. I totally didn't just come up with it one night and be like, hey, I kind of want to do that, and then just did it.
Like, literally...
I think it's the
days
shortest
ago,
time
yeah.
in between conception of an idea and release on the channel.
Probably, yeah.
Of all time.
I honestly do. Like, we literally had a meeting where we were like, what new shows do we want to do? And Var said, I have an idea for this show. Like, that sounds cool. Work on it. And then 2 days
Good.
later, it's done. It's up
Literally
on
the
the channel.
next day.
I think that's how Mock Spotlight was conceived too.
Yeah, I think so. It's a lot of good stuff. Comes out
I
of
Yeah,
it.
I
like
think
the
what-
side character.
Oh no,
the cat.
not Mock Spotlight. eBay. That's how eBay was conceived. I remember one night we were looking at a bunch of.
What is this joke? What's this bit? What
I don't know,
we
but
doing?
I'm really starting to regret ever mentioning to anyone.
No,
It's
Stop,
the
stop,
sound. It's
stop
the
it.
sound of recollection.
You're all sheep.
TTV Podcast 66 episode.
What would
come
they
on.
look like in text
Halloween
form?
time.
Here's like,
Just
question. Is it or is it like
It's
No, okay.
It's over. It's over.
The guys in the chat are trying to spell this out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, is it or
Nobody cares.
No, it's like that.
Is this really worth discussing? Can we?
That's
Yes.
what
No.
I'm saying.
No.
We were
What
talking
is
about
it
this
like?
ready for
Worthy
too
of
long.
life.
This bit has
So what's
gone
up with
on.
Reply? Is there anything worth saying about Reply?
No, I
I
like
think
the cat.
I think everybody should reply to that video so that I can reply to you. Yay!
It'll be fun.
It's a circle.
Also,
You know,
what I'm
reply.
interested in. Go on.
What?
I'm interested in seeing what you're gonna do for next week because we do have that BrickFeed episode that came out. With the.
You mean the one where people are like complaining about the title?
the one that people are complaining about the title, Meso?
I take full responsibility for the title. Fight me, I'll take you all on. You want to have a go?
You woke me from a nap, dude. You inadvertently
1v1
woke
me
me from a nap.
IRL, scrub.
Because like some people were like they were unsure about it, so they like started adding me, but I was taking a nap, and so like I kept getting buzzed and texting them like, "What's going on? What's so important?" And I'm like,
"That's hilarious."
What's the deal with the title? And I'm like, Meso.
Well, no, it's like
you made the Elves title, Meso.
I made the Elves title. Yes, it was initially is Lego Elves better than Bionicle. The compromise we reached was could Lego Elves be better than Bionicle?
Meso, do you feel dirty after making
Not
that title?
really.
I don't
Not really at all, actually.
You have no shame.
No,
I mean,
here's
a lot
the
of
deal.
people are like, how could you dare say that Lego Elves is better than Bionicle? And yet here I am still sitting unconvinced thinking Lego Elves is infinitely better than Bionicle was. Have you actually watched that show? That show
Also,
was so
Like,
much...
listen, there's cringy moments, but overall, it's so much better.
There's way more
Also-
quality in that show
Way more
than anything
better than
Bionicle did.
Definitely.
I think I think it's more about how the title is just very BuzzFeed.
It is.
It's quite
It
clickbait.
is-
I won't deny,
If
but
it
like
wasn't
again,
associated with the actual theme of Lego Elves, then yeah.
If
it would
you
probably be
want
received a lot
to-
better.
if you want to say in the chat, in the comments, title is too clickbaity. I don't like it. That's a fair criticism, totally. But to jump on and be like, how could you be flaming Bionicle? How could you be putting Bionicle down? I'm like, well, number one, because it's true. But number two, we didn't say Lego Elves is better than Bionicle. It's a question that you are supposed to answer for yourself. So don't get mad at us.
It's funny
for
because
proposing the question.
people were saying like absolutely not, unsubscribing, everything before
Unsubscribe.
before an hour had passed since the podcast had gone up. The podcast is an hour long. These people didn't even like finish the episode. They just they were like, nope. The concept of something better than Bionicle? Nope. That's it. We're done.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
that was funny.
It was really funny.
I don't know.
I thought that's really interesting.
I mean, that's part of the conversation is whether or not Lego Elves is better than...
Right, that's a
than
conversation.
Bionicle.
I would like to see.
Which, by the way-
post in the comments if you think that Journey to the One is better than Lego Elves or Bionicle G2 is better than Lego
You're
Elves.
full of
Totally.
it if you
No,
think
listen,
Journey to Elves
listen,
is better
I think
or
they could be
Journey
an
to
episode-
Elves.
Journey to Elves.
I mean,
That's
to be
the
fair...
episode title right
to be
there.
fair,
Journey
the-
to Elves.
the
Get
two
high.
I would like to see that
I'm about to
comment.
spoil things. Never mind. I was gonna say something.
We got to do an elf coverage sometime.
We do.
I really want to talk
Don't
about
forget-
it.
For anyone who's here, this is not the BrickFeed podcast, so the audience might not be the same. For anyone who hasn't seen Lego Elves, and you're unsure whether you should,
Do it.
Definitely.
do it.
Do it.
I'll get around
If you're
to
a
it.
Bionicle fan, do it. If you're a Lego fan, do it. It's
Cool.
not a perfect show. It's got some problems. But when
Cooling
at the,
Palpatine, do it.
So much
at,
fleek.
at the end of this show, you're gonna understand why such a thing,
Why
can be
we're
said.
comparing it to Bionicle.
why
And,
such a conclusion can be made.
Let's also be clear too. A part of the reason why I would encourage everyone to watch it is just if you want more shows like this, where you want to endorse like
do it.
a different
I
animation
wish
studio
every Lego
doing a
show going forward was like Lego
You know,
Elves.
it's like there's a lot of cool stuff done with both the animation and style and everything. Elves might
Yeah.
not be you're up to speed.
You
I
would.
get it, right? Because we're like what? We're all like most of us, except for Prpl in this call right now. We're all guys. I think we're all over 20
we are.
now, right? So like
Just
it's
a little.
not us, right? We're not gonna My Little Pony this. We're not that demographic at all. But still really enjoyed it compared to
I can
other Lego
recognize
shows,
that it is-
definitely.
I
recognize
don't
how
know.
good
I
it
feel
is.
like if anyone actually sat down and watched the Lego Elves show, you would
Well,
know
okay.
exactly why that title is the way it is.
One, yeah, especially you're comparing it to Journey to One. If you sat down and watched Journey to One and Lego Elves, in my personal opinion,
Dude.
I feel like that you would come to that conclusion as well. Because I really
Right.
loved Lego Elves. Not
Yeah,
gonna
that
lie.
show was really
I
good.
Really
It was
liked
I
that.
want to say stuff about like the finale. And
the
stuff.
finale
I know.
had,
That
like,
I'm
an
trying
amazing
to
moment.
like. I
It
want
has
to.
a good ending.
I want to explain my thoughts, but like I
Right.
can't because it's spoiling it.
But we'll do a Lego Elves coverage. We'll probably talk about
Watch
that.
this
Kill
show.
TLDR,
tie
kill
that
our
back in.
channel. Yeah.
Dude, I would love to do Elves TLDR.
I might watch a little bit of Elves after we
Do it.
after
There's
this recording.
dragons. It's so worth it.
Dude,
Oh, Prpl.
I'm gonna try and make us able to do TLDR again.
I'm gonna try
make
to
my
get Sam
personal
into
mission
it
this next
too.
month.
I don't want to get
Do
into
it.
it alone.
Okay, I do have something to say. Real quick, I went to Walmart the other day, and I actually was struck by a desire to get a Lego Elves set. and I kind of had a very inverse problem from how things normally tend to go, because I was looking at all the sets, and I was like, I don't want any of these. And it's not because of mini dolls. I actually don't have a problem with mini dolls versus mini figures. It's that they don't look good. They don't look like their TV show counterparts as much as I would hope that they would. And it's like, the characters are recognizable, but when I was just looking at all the sets, I'm like, cool, I want to get a cool looking set, but like the figures, the characters are just so unappealing. And like, I think it's because the style they've portrayed them in is so good. It's everything else is a downgrade, you know? Like, I feel like one of the strengths of the animation studio is the facial expressions. Now they can convey a lot for the characters. The people in Elves are insanely expressive, except for the people that made Korra. You put that on a minifigure or a mini doll, and they just look flat and lifeless, like they're dead inside. And I don't know.
You'd think that would appeal to you more, Meso?
No.
That was the grossest thing.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm probably, I do want to buy one of the Lego Elf sets. I don't know which one. I'm going to go buy one.
The sets don't really appeal to me that much.
Buy the dragons.
Yeah,
I'm not that big of a fan of dragons that I would want to buy these Elf sets. TBH. So it's like
I wanted the
I'm
airship.
buying like every dragon I can.
Don't you own a bunch of friend sets?
No, I don't have any friend sets. I have a lot of elf sets.
I get those confused like all the
keep them?
times. I've been saying Lego Friends instead of Lego Elves. Like, it's because of the dolls, dude. The dolls are the biggest drawback I feel for me getting into this. And I understand that Lego probably has a total a good reason as to why the elves are there.
I would love to get some actual minifigures of the elves characters. That'd be really cool.
That'd be really awesome, dude.
no.
Well,
Heck no. What are you talking about?
No, sorry,
The mini dolls sell,
not you guys,
so-
not you guys. My stupid cat is climbing on top of my BIONICLE sets. I'll be right back.
Aw.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I do kind of wish there were actual minifigures and not dolls, but that's fine.
Construction elves figures. Someone get on that.
Oh, they'd look
Do
terrifying.
you really want that?
Yeah. I don't.
I want to
that.
see like how it would even look.
Look at Luke Skywalker. That's how
Look
they
at
would
Rey.
Sorry.
look. Yeah,
Five-head
look at
Rey.
actually.
People actually are liking Rey. They're like, oh, she's the best of the bunch. And I'm like,
No.
she's
Your
disgusting.
opinion is wrong.
Yeah, listen to Trooper. Your opinion's
There you
wrong, you. Anyway, that was my elves conversation for a while. I don't know. I feel like if anyone actually wanted to even be open-minded enough to compare BIONICLE to elves, I think you'd start to see the quality of elves. At least the show here.
In terms of sheer
I was a
quality,
show, yeah,
Elves beats BIONICLE by a mile.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too. I think like a really
Animation, characters.
they're putting a lot into elves, and I think it shows.
It still
funny because,
bothers
like-
me so much, man, that
It
like
bothers me too.
they finally got the studio that we wanted to work about.
I know.
It's
It's literally,
It is like,
the animation team that we have been saying for years would make
Like
the
a
best
pipe
BIONICLE
dream.
TV show.
Yeah, right.
We're
Yeah,
not,
a pipe-
we can't
a
even
pipe dream.
emphasize this enough. Like, we've really been rooting for them for years.
Before Journey to 1, before G2 was even a thing, we had podcast episodes where we were sitting there talking and being like, if they rebooted BIONICLE, I'd love the people behind Avatar The Last Airbender to make the TV show. We've been saying this for years, and here they are!
To be fair, it's
That's
like
why
Lego.
like we had so much hype when Journey to 1 was conceived, because we were like, oh, sweet, a BIONICLE TV show. Okay, cool. This is kind of what we've been saying for a while. It might not be the same studio, but sweet, it's a TV show. And then
Now
it went the way it did because it wasn't the studio we wanted.
And,
Well, I
then-
mean,
and
like,
just like a year later, everything we ever hoped for happened. And it just wasn't.
Elves is better in
wasn't
literally
the right
every
theme.
way. It has an intro. It has a theme song. You know, it has like a plot, a good
has-
plot,
okay,
characters,
they do
likable dynamics.
They do the 8
cool
episodes.
fight scene.
The 8 episodes.
Eight
is
episodes
really
are released
great.
all at once.
I did. There was a moment where I was like, I scrolled down on my Netflix, and this is on my sister's account. We have different accounts on the different profiles on the same account. So I was mistakenly in hers. I just scrolled down, and there it was, Lego Elves #1 on Netflix originals, like front and center. And I was like, this is
Man.
incredible. This is crazy that this is happening right now.
can't
This
believe
is
how
the
bad
Lego
we
show,
got
and it's
robbed.
right there.
Yeah.
But
So
Oh well.
it happens. What are you
I
gonna do?
think the biggest thing you need to do to like just compare the quality difference. I think you don't even have to watch an episode really if you want to just get the gist of what we're talking about.
Just watch the intro.
Watch the intro.
Yeah.
Watch the Elves intro and then compare it to the Journey to One intro. One is flashy and has like a cool music and like animation.
All the elements and everything too.
The other is like really quick, cuts to a stock image of the Mask of Control and then fades to like MS Paint text for like the episode
God.
title.
Okay, I
That's
will
really
say
all you need to
that
know.
text was a little. That was pretty jarring at the beginning. No, I mean
It's
Journey to One
It's a
was. I remember when we watched season 1 of Journey to One, and I was super hyped coming out of that.
It was hype.
There was
it
definitely
has good aspects.
a lot of great aspects. I felt it looked really awesome. In terms of like the thing, but like when you compare two things together, when you compare like two products coming from the same company, you do have to like kind of see which one did better. Elves just has more room. Yeah, I believe it had a bigger budget.
Well,
I don't
think-
know that for sure, but I mean,
I
8
think
episodes,
the difference is pretty clear when like you can feel the similarities between the two lines, right? Immediately when you watch the Elves intro, you can see the similarities between Elves and BIONICLE, like right off the bat with the elements and the animations and the characters and everything. You can already tell that this is made by Lego, same Lego tropes, same kind of Lego storytelling.
There's a
ideas.
shadow peeper,
But
shadow.
The difference between the two is that you can clearly see where Lego put budget, you know, like where that one is clearly being backed by the company in charge of it versus the other one, where it's sort of like it exists, has a lot of potential, it could be really good, but it just isn't getting the support that it needs to really thrive.
I mean, in 4 episodes, it's hard to do like the amount of story, you know, that you're like BIONICLE really kind of deserved it, I guess. You know, because BIONICLE's always been built on this world building thing. You do kind of need more episodes for that. They didn't. I mean, like whatever the decision was to limit that episodes, to limit it to 4. That was what kind of made Journey to One. I wouldn't say doomed it, but it made sure this is the limit as far as Journey to One can go. You can only go so far in 4 episodes.
Yeah.
As opposed to 8. So.
That's not to say that Elves is perfect or anything.
There's some definite.
I have 2 big flaws that I think are really the biggest ones.
Save it for the
whole
coverage,
show.
dude. We gotta. Well, actually, you can brief him.
What do we gotta do? What pressing topics do we have to shift to?
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I mean,
sure.
X really wanted to talk about
I'll tell you
that
what,
game
Destiny.
that came
I'll
out.
say that. I'll say this
God.
quickly then. Number 1, the Elves' power levels are inconsistent, and number 2, one thing that Elves just completely ignores is world building. It doesn't do it basically at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a world that's lived in. The main characters are hearing about stuff for the first time, which is stuff that like they should know by now.
Yeah, there's they're informed of the politics going around in their world, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know that." It's like, don't you live here? What were you doing? Aren't you supposed to be like the guardians of the realm and super powerful?
Maybe
and
an
stuff? So-
exposition, you know?
No, it's sort of
Of course it
exposition.
is.
It just
It just
feels
isn't
a little
elegantly
out of place,
done.
right? It's like it feels a little like imagine if like you were like you were like the version of the Avatar here, and someone's like, "Hey, so you hear about that election?" And you're like, "Election? What election? What happened?"
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. It's the same thing. So those are my 2 biggest flaws, but
Irma,
we'll do
what's
coverage
that?
in the future. Wow. Yeah, best wishes. Just like I guess John brings this up as a joke, but like by the time this podcast comes out, Irma's probably going to be hammering Florida.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
hard.
real talk.
You
Hope
are in
guys
my
safe.
thoughts, all of you who are listening to this. It's going to be rough, you know, the cleanup and whatnot. Words can't really do anything for you, but I've been through it. So to anyone who's affected, and for that matter, anyone who's still recovering in the Houston area, you have my sympathies. And just gotta stay strong.
And the hurricane's been hitting us hard this year, that's for sure.
The hurricanes have been really
Yes.
bad, and I think there's several more coming up. I think didn't they? I heard there were.
Yeah,
like,
there's
2
already
Yeah.
another one.
There's already another
Hurricane
one.
Jose, which doesn't look like it's gonna hit the U.S.
It's a nightmare.
But
Yeah, it has been a year.
2017 kind of sucks.
a little bit.
I mean, it makes sense.
Little
We
bit.
had kind of the hurricane drought for the longest time. All that water had to go somewhere, I guess.
That's true.
It was just building up.
It was bound to happen inevitably.
Yeah. Oh well.
So X, do you wanna talk briefly?
I have a lot to say. but
Okay.
before I fire away. I'm gonna try to keep it like shorter, and by shorter I mean instead of 3 hours. I'm gonna try to squeeze
try to
in,
make
but-
it shorter than Ben's story, and you're good.
Oh,
come on.
no, that's
It wasn't
not
even
gonna
that
happen.
long.
Come on.
I'm
But my
riding
story's not that
you.
long.
I'm riding
But
it.
before I say
That's okay.
all the things I'm gonna say, I would like
I even
to
did
hear
my
what
best
you
to
think,
include you
Meso.
guys in the discussion.
What do I think? Okay.
Yeah, what's your thoughts?
Well, I was gonna wait for PC, to get Destiny 2. But I'll be honest, seeing all the impressions, I was like, I need this now. I need to play it now. Can I realistically see myself remaining spoiler-free for a month and a half? The answer is no. So, went ahead and played it. In short, I think that a quote from one review website, I think it was Polygon, perfectly summarizes how I feel about the game. It's Destiny, but without all the BS. And that's really, I think, the best and most succinct review I could possibly give.
I don't get
It's
it.
everything good about the first game, and everything bad about the first game is just gone.
What was good about the first game?
What was bad about?
What was good about the first game? I would say the core strengths of Destiny 1 were the social element, how fun it was to play with friends, getting a fire team together, rampaging through the world, but also, I'd say the basic gameplay loop. Just like all the stuff available to you, shooting feels really good, your abilities, you feel powerful, you have supers, customizable skill trees. If you're into the whole loot mechanic system, Destiny will really appeal to you. You can get guns to drop with different perks, you can like level them up and stuff, and do all sorts of customization with your character. This game, but the weaknesses of the first game were it was quite repetitive, all the content was kind of the same. There were only a few things you could really do to meaningfully progress, so you ended up doing those same things over and over and over and over and over, just burning yourself out. There was no story. The story that was there kind of sucked, and there just really wasn't a lot of variety in things.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so many times you can shoot dudes before you get bored. Destiny 2, what would you say, X? I think it's like tripled the amount of activities available to you. There's so many things.
Are you talking about like in terms of like things to do?
Yes.
Yeah, and well, I just want you to just finish all your thoughts before I just fire away, because
my thoughts are simple. Like, the plot is good. Is it anything revolutionary? No, but it's a solid story that actually engages you into the world and the characters. There's cool action set-piece moments. By the end of things, you'll know who everybody is, you'll care about them, and you'll feel like you got a good experience. The activities have been tripled. Everything allows you to progress. Nothing doesn't help you get to your goals, to level up. Everything you can do the strike missions, which are cooperative levels you can just run through with your friends for like 2 hours, and you can progress in the game. Or you can just sit around on a planet and do like menial public activities with the random people you'll encounter along the way, and that will help you progress. Or you can play multiplayer, and that will. Or you can do, the side content in those worlds, little side missions and side quests, and that'll help you. Everything feeds together into your character's progression. And then they've also streamlined a lot of things. All the little annoyances in Destiny 1 have been streamlined to a point where it doesn't bother people as much. Here's an example of what I mean, and then I'll be done. In Destiny 1, when you get a gun, for instance, you have to level that gun up with weapon XP. The more you use it, you get experience for that gun. The more you level up the gun, you unlock perks for it that you can then customize, that you have to spend money on. Not real money. Glimmer money. And then you can eventually max your gun and then see if you really like it. See if it's good, see if the perks work for you, etc. That could take hours. Really. Honestly. In Destiny 2, that's all gone. All that menial stuff you have to waste your time doing, you just get a gun, it's a gun. You can use it. It takes away an element, sure, but it's just a lot of that dead time you'd spend in Destiny running around not doing anything. And now you can do stuff that's more enjoyable.
So...
I honestly can't think of a bad thing to say about it, I'll be honest with you.
Oh,
it's everything the first...
Oh,
it's everything... I'm sure you can, but honestly,
baby.
like, is it a perfect game? Probably not. But it's everything I wanted from the first one and more, and I could see myself actually sinking my teeth into this. I like it so much, I'm still gonna get it for PC. Somehow. I don't know where I'm gonna, like, manufacture the money, but I'm getting it for PC, too. I'm gonna get it twice.
But Meso, I'm gonna counter that with, the first time I got to the very first social space, I found something I absolutely hate about the game, and it will bother me for the rest of the games.
Oh, no, dude.
Yeah.
First social space? Go on.
First social space. And that is... I'm going to get into a lot of stuff, but like I'm just going to say that is... When you go to an NPC, you hold down square to talk to him. in in Destiny 1, you just got into a screen and there was just it was in simple animation of the character. And this time, you get like a background, they talk and stuff, and that takes an extra second to load. And so instead of you holding down the square and you instantly get to the screen, there will be a black screen, and then it will load up the character skin in their inventory. So basically, in Destiny 2, absolutely every time you talk to an NPC, you lose 1 second of your life, and that's going to add up to quite a lot in the long run. And that I hate. And it's a little thing, but
it's a very little thing.
It's a very little thing,
especially for the price of characterization and lore. I'll gladly take it.
Yeah, but so like. A lot of things, like Meso said, is that a lot of issues that Destiny 1 had is that Destiny was always really weird thing to sell, because it tried to sell itself as like it's a game, it has a story, you can shoot stuff, but there's also all this RPG and MMO elements which people who like normally play Call of Duty who don't really have that much patience are not probably a big fan of. And so when it comes down to it, I would say that Destiny 2 is a good game. I would say that you can recommend this to people, and you don't really need to be a huge fan of this or that, or you need to dedicate yourself to this or this. You can buy it and you can play it, and it's a good game. Like Meso said, it's not an amazing story, but like it has a story. It has like a lot of the satisfaction, a lot of the things with Destiny 1 is that people played the story, and there was no meaning to everything you did. There was just you shot guys, and you got to the end, and you were like, that was it. The
story is Bungie level. It's not like modern Halo level.
It was incredibly Halo. Like it adds. There's many cutscenes, and and there's also like it's not the biggest variety in terms of like what you do through the story, but the cutscenes, the characters. It adds weight to what you're doing, so it doesn't feel like a drag. It feels like a coherent story. And also another thing, like pretty much everything is improved. And another thing that they did is that you go through the different planets pretty quickly, and there's like long story missions. But every time after a mission, you have these side missions. So how you progress through the story is incredibly open. There's a lot of story, and there's a lot of
you could just skip to the next planet, or you could do what I did and spend like an hour to 2 hours just roaming around, like immersing yourself in like what's the goings on. And
it will progress you in some sort of way, and it doesn't feel like a drag. And once you get to the and one of the things that's really once you get to the end game, one of the things with Destiny 1 and all the expansions is that there was like a specific way to like level up, or you needed to do this and this to get to the highest power levels, etc. But in this game, like Meso said, you can pretty much just play the game. Like I said, you don't have to be a super duper hardcore played MMOs and everything. You can put this game in the hands of a casual, and he can just play the game, and he will eventually land to a high power level. So you don't need to like put this in the back of your mind that you need to like mid-max everything. You can just play it.
You don't need to do hours of research like me trolling through Reddit.
There's not as much of a grinding sort of,
and
thing.
That is really weird, because the game, like one thing though is that a lot of the things that we talked about behind the scenes, a lot of everyone in the TTV was kind of not sure about Destiny 2, rightfully so. People who've played all the expansions through Destiny 1, it's going to feel very familiar, because it's sort of just been a gradual progression in terms of things taking less and less of your time. In Destiny 1, like Meso said, takes hours to get weapons, and then later expansions, there was just less of a grind, and in this, they've done that even more. So I was completely right in everything I was saying, in that it's probably going to get more casual, and they're going to have the same system that they had at the end of Rise of Iron. And you guys didn't believe me. You guys said, well, how can you be sure? And
no, I just didn't listen.
I believed you. Nice. Listen, I believed you that they would like simplify the game. I just didn't necessarily want it that way. Side. It's best for the franchise though to have it be like not as much of a barrier to entry. Like, really, like I can really sink my teeth into those games where you have to spend hours and hours and hours just doing stuff, but like that doesn't appeal to everybody. I guarantee if you gave Destiny 1 to Prpl, for instance, she'd be bored and probably uninstall it after 2 hours.
Oh, are you guys
blame her.
mentioning someone else now?
If you give Destiny 2 to Prpl, though, she'll probably be all into it. And then eventually they can slowly reintroduce those complex elements as new features if they want to.
You know what else you should give to
basically
Prpl?
it's become
Final Fantasy on PC.
You already have it.
On PC!
Basically,
It's not even out on PC.
Get those mods.
Basically, it's become more and more casual as it is, and also there's some pretty funny elements to it. That's like that's taken from other games. For example, when you reach max level, each time you level up from that on, you literally get a loot box, and it's just cosmetics and stuff. And that is the only bad thing. Like, there's been a huge controversy because if you didn't know, in Destiny 1 there was this thing called shaders. It was an item in which you it would put a
color.
Yeah, it would put a color scheme over your entire armor set. In Destiny 1, you have shaders individually for every armor piece and guns, so you can customize it very much. The thing with these, though, is that you get them through microtransactions, and they are consumables. So that means that once you put a shader on a piece of gear, it's gone. You cannot retract
that's
that.
lame.
That is incredibly lame. And no matter what Bungie has said, and how they've conveyed it, it 100% feels, because that's something that was in Destiny 1 that wasn't a grind, and it was made a grind in Destiny 2, so it's a downgrade, and on top of that, it's locked behind. It's not locked, but you can buy it with microtransactions. And
you get the shaders. You get the shaders from the loot boxes.
I don't want to play this game anymore.
And like, people are saying, there's been lots of stuff. People are saying that like, hey, you do get a bunch of these loot boxes gradually through the game. Like, if you play this game just even casually, you will be showered.
I'm rolling in so many shaders, I can't even begin to count.
But the point
I haven't bought a single thing.
Are coming with is that this was something that was deliberately changed to promote microtransactions, and it feels like something is taken away from you. And also you also get mods. There's a brand new
My only
thing.
statement on the matter of the shaders is in a game where they've taken away the grind from almost every facet, it makes sense to still have something in there for that audience.
So I would say it's a good game. It does really bother me, though, because if Destiny 2 was Destiny 1, the general consensus about Destiny would be so marginally different, just because there's a lot of things that they have improved in Destiny that I don't care about. The two things I care about is weapon balance and PvP. Anything else is just a plus for me. I don't care what happens or what they do, but I do appreciate that they have a good story, just because that it will cater to other people. They will feel immersed.
You and I are polar opposites.
That's okay, but
yeah.
I will say, like, to a simple degree, is that if you didn't like Destiny 1, you will like Destiny 2. If you hated Destiny 1, you will not like Destiny 2, though. So that's the thing, because it still feels like Destiny. It's not going to feel revolutionary different. It's just a completely better version of what Destiny 1 is. And that's not a bad thing. A lot of people are saying it looks the same, enemies are the same, but these were never the issue. The enemies and everything in the game, the lore, people love that, people like that, and it's good. But I've said that so many times, but the last thing is that the game, in terms of how it will be in the long run, is a concern. Because the game has become so casual to the point in that you can just play it, and then everything will be given to you at time. Like, when you get to a certain point, you get showered and loot all the time. You get stuff, it's all there. But a big part of Destiny 1 was that you had random rolls on weapons. That is completely eliminated in this game. If you get a gun, which is, like, for example, a scout rifle, it will be the exact same. Everyone will have that exact same scout rifle. It will be exactly the same. So you will come to a point in this game in which you'll have everything, and there will be no need to do anything, if that makes sense. So in Destiny 1, they sort of had that, like, there was always a reason to do something because you could get a different role, a different weapon. But in this game, all weapons are exactly the same, no matter where you get it, and it takes away from it. It feels really good now, but all these changes are good for people that, like, pick up the game, play it a little, but in the long run...
And this is why it's such a benefit that the people in TTV have waited to get it on PC. is because we can test out the end game and then tell everybody else how it goes.
Yay!
So they don't have to spend their money on something that might not work out.
All right. And, well, PvP, that's a whole nother, but I will say...
Give me an arbitrary number ranking, X, and then we're going to move on.
What's an arbitrary ranking? What does that mean?
Give it out of 10. 1 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
8 out of
Good
10.
game.
Yay!
First time, it's been the most fun I've had playing Halo in 8 years.
Yeah,
No.
that was definitely my experience from the beta. Felt like Halo.
Definitely.
Yep.
I was like, oh man, it's like Halo all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Shut
You
up.
Purple,
shut up.
I-
You could have
I
played it with
honestly-
us,
shut up.
and you
Might
didn't.
like it.
I wish you
It's
could have.
Takuma, how did you feel about Destiny?
Oh yeah. You have a PC.
I think he
Are we
literally
still doing a
tuned out.
podcast?
Yeah.
Takuma, you were
No,
gonna
I'm-
get Destiny too,
surprised-
right?
I'm surprised too,
You guys
dude.
are so rude.
Listen,
So rude.
I completely tuned out. You guys said Destiny, and I was gone.
But weren't you minorly interested? You have a PC.
I was interested in the first one until I found out that it wasn't going to be coming to PC, and then by the time the second one came around, they said PC. I said, Destiny what?
But it's fun, dude.
I've
you
never played.
forget? Is
We
that-
need
never
you
played
to
that
buy
one.
it for raids.
Destiny what? That's my.
Yeah, I know.
That's a cool version.
Nope.
Is it
nope,
better than Destiny 2?
Destiny what? And its
I-
sequel, Destiny... Yeah!
I mean, it hasn't cost me any time or money, so
Nah,
I'm
I
going to
get
say
it.
probably.
All right.
No, I mean, sure, Destiny 2, free open beta, I didn't have the time, motivation, hard drive space, maybe even the specs for it anymore. I need to upgrade my computer.
Gotcha.
I was low-key kind of excited for the first one, but now I just couldn't care less.
Fair enough.
Fair
Can't
enough.
please everybody. But I was.
I'm
I
not
was
looking to be
sufficiently
pleased.
impressed. What else we got on the topic?
I'm happy if you guys are happy.
well, okay. So
I'm quite happy.
There's something that's been going around. We were talking about this a little bit. We're like, we should probably address this on the podcast because
Oh no.
obviously enough, there's been
I
some.
actually don't know where we're going with this.
You don't know what we're talking about? There's a story going around about something that happened at Brickfair, which I just now learned about, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. And I have to because right now, obviously there's been some controversy going around, but now it's going to the point where people are essentially creating fake drama in order to and talking about it, and then so there's two versions of a story I've heard. Okay, there's one story where we go to Red Robin with Shadowgate, which is true. That did happen. Did we take I'm pretty sure we took a photo that time. And yeah, we went to Shadowgate. We went to Red Robin this year. Now, either there's two things. Either X, you said BrickFeed sex or something, or we were trying to buy Shadow Gear or acquire Shadow Gear, and you said no, don't do it because TTV's only in it for the money. Either way, what happens is that I kicked you out of Red Robin. And you
Why'd you do that, by the way? I wanted a burger.
listen. All I wanted to do. You're ruining my Wolf of Wall Street deal. That was going down.
Yes.
Sitting down there, just kind of
The story of this is that we went to Red Robin to propose business deals, and X ruined them all, so we banned him from the restaurant.
I was then
What?
I was keeping my ear out on different things, and people had sent me stuff and we were showing it, and I was like, "What is this? This didn't." No,
Then we got into a fist
fight.
fight with X outside of the
Yeah,
restaurant.
we did. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we beat on X.
I punched
left
him.
him there to
I
die.
had to jump.
They decked me!
I had to jump too, a whole thing. No, I just
So none of that
I
happened.
want to clear that too because it's so funny that that's how people.
This is
perceive
actually a
the
thing.
story.
People are actually.
it's
Yeah,
a
I
thing.
guess
Don't
people
lie.
think that.
Gosh, you guys.
People are literally they're trying
Somehow
to
a
scrounge
rumor
some
got
stuff.
started, and
Well,
I'm not sure how.
I don't know how it got started. What had happened? X, you had a lot of milk the last night. Drank a little too much milk.
Is that what you want to call it?
You,
Sure, man.
listen, you
I
had
had a lot of milk.
You had
I was
you had
very
a lot of milk.
nauseous, and
Listen,
I wanted
you had
to
a
die.
milk. You had a milk
Because
headache.
of all the milk!
You had a milk headache. You know. You're last night, X, I don't know.
Have you ever
To hide away the milk because it was too much!
You had to hide away
too
milk.
much milk!
I was like,
And I was
You ever had too much milk?
spinning because of all the milk!
dude, you were like,
Have you ever drank too much milk?
You ever had
I was like,
milk?
are you sure you want to
It
eat that much
wasn't even
milk, buddy?
chocolate
And you're
milk.
like, John, I got more bones than you, so I need more calcium. And you're like,
You ever test the limits of your lactose intolerance?
he pushed that, man. But anyhow, you had one of your famous milk headaches, and you just couldn't. You're like, when food came out, you're like, dude, can't do it. Can't do this right now.
You were like, if I see this food get served, I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna
So you
vomit
just
milk.
like-
Literally, the smell was just me. I almost threw up. Like I had to just run out. I was.
Yeah,
just,
you were feeling sick.
Yeah, so we checked on you and stuff, but like I love how that turned into this story where people are like, oh, TTV, they kicked one of
People
their
are
members
just
out.
looking to spread.
Yeah, I
stuff.
guess someone saw you or something.
Maybe I don't
Yeah.
know.
Stalker.
Just sitting outside. Apparently, Envy went out too to like check on you, and he skipped out on his bill by accident.
He did do that actually. That's real. And Mage
did
totally
happen.
skipped out on his bill.
It's okay, I got your back, fam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Takuma did
it-
pay for it. We didn't leave the restaurant not paying for something, by the way.
Come on, Takuma,
This is
that
before
money
that
should have
rumor
gone
started
towards
going around.
Destiny too.
We had
That
for a
money
moment,
could have
we were
gone
like-
towards
like,
milk.
the Shadow Gear, like, was that like a bit Shadow Gear was doing where he was like telling people that we kicked X out or something? And then like, I think someone might have driven past or been at the restaurant too and seen you outside and like,
Yeah, I mean,
guess
like,
it got turned into
I don't know
the
how
story.
rumors start. You know, it could have just been a joke. Could have been an
Could have been a
offhand comment,
joke and
people
that
twisted.
turned,
I don't
people
know.
got turned into his thing.
Yeah.
I've seen it multiple times on multiple different things, and I was like, this is so funny because that's literally not how it happened at all. Like I would think,
None of it's true.
I wish I had the ability to kick X out of anything. Like I wish I could just go to his, like, he would be eating at like a Chick-fil-A and I'd be like, excuse me, ma'am, I don't want this person in this establishment anymore. Can you get him out?
Can you please remove this person?
I'm trying to buy this one person and he's not having it. Can you get him out? No, I mean, that kind of thing's been
Yes.
going all over the place. Oh, apparently I can fire any one of you guys. Just me. You guys better watch out. Just me, by myself. I can totally do stuff.
Fire
my
me,
gosh.
John. I dare you.
Out of a cannon into the sun.
Wow.
Anyway,
So
Someone into a sin.
now that we've all taken a breather,
that was a story. All right, well,
You're a funny guy, X. I like you.
Thanks, man. I like you too.
Let's
like
talk
you
about
too.
Destiny some more after
No.
the podcast.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can. Well, actually, I'm gonna be playing Destiny.
That's
So-
fair.
Dude, I'm like with you on Breath of the Wild. I'm in the Breath of the Wild binge because my roommate got Switch.
Very nice.
So,
okay,
I'm playing that.
I did what I did with every other game I play with Breath of the Wild, and it really annoys me, but I can't help myself. I did too much side content, and I got bored. I burnt myself out. I jumped around to too many dungeons, solved too many puzzles, and now I'm just lost as to like how to progress the main story, and like I'm just like, eh.
you severely disappoint me.
Yeah.
I do this with every game.
I
Every
don't.
game!
Then you just severely disappoint us of every game.
I'm addicted to side content.
They
I
do
can't
have a lot
help
of side
I
content.
can't
in
wait
that
for
game.
you to get Final Fantasy, dude. Oh my god.
No, you will be annoyed at me because I'm gonna play half the side content and never finish the story.
No, he's never gonna get to that city,
yeah.
Prpl. He's never gonna do it.
I'm okay with him never finishing the story. I just won't talk about the ending.
Oh,
I
fair
will
enough.
live.
like the middle.
ruined it for me.
Do they become a famous boy band?
You have no idea.
what did I ruin?
Everything.
The thing about Luna and Altisha.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, you guys were just having a conversation about things, and I just
You don't spoil something like that, though.
You ragged on me for doing the Harry Potter spoiler.
The
You guys
difference
were
was you
having-
guys
And
were
Yoda.
having a conversation about their role in the game and everything. So like,
We're talking about it as
I
you're going through the
assumed-
game. We were having a
Well,
Harry
yeah,
Potter
no, but
conversation. Same deal.
No, you were talking about like Luna's presence in the game and like how she was like this like just her character overall, and I assume that you were having this conversation because you had reached a point in the game where that conversation is relevant.
I
Halo
can see
reached.
that.
I just from the context of your conversation, I had assumed that you had already gotten to that part. That's why I was talking.
Well,
about
I
that,
had
you
also
hadn't.
assumed that Prpl had actually heard of Harry Potter before.
That's the problem, though. You never assume.
I think Luna's role in the Order of the Phoenix game should have been kept under wraps. That's a major spoiler.
Shut up.
Alright.
So anyway,
Water made a comment, imagine if Meso played World of Warcraft. No, I mean, you joke, but honestly, if I played World of Warcraft, you would never see me again. I say that completely seriously. That game, I
doubt
believe...
it.
that game would suck me in because I have such poor self-control to the point it would probably destroy my life. People have tried to get me to play it twice, both Mange and Fwef, and I've had to rebuff them both times.
I kind of doubt it, to be
Because,
honest. I feel like you'd start World of Warcraft and get really bored really fast.
The menial tasks, the trivial stuff, I get sucked in.
I don't know, man.
It's dangerous.
I don't know,
Anyway.
dude.
Anything else we want to talk about?
No.
I can talk
Anything
more
interesting?
about Destiny.
Guys, come on.
Oh,
You guys have a
please, no.
problem. You guys have a
No.
problem.
Destiny Cast.
Honestly,
Let's
we could do
go.
Destiny Cast. People would think it would be a BIONICLE podcast, and so the first episode would get like a ton of views, and then like once they realize
Right.
stuff, then they'd be like,
And for
"Uh-oh."
the thumbnail, we'll show like your character, John, which looks like an XO,
Yeah.
but it's like a Calyx.
Right,
So-
right, exactly.
And we'll, like, it'll be the double clickbait.
Okay, well, if we're gonna have Destiny Cast, we also need to have Unity Cast and Duty Cast.
Quite.
yeah.
Duty.
Why?
Wow,
how did I
you're
know
5
Prpl
years
was
old.
gonna be-
Purple. You're 5 years old.
I
get
knew
it.
as soon as I said that Prpl was gonna be the one to react.
I have the sense of humor of a toddler. I was never allowed to laugh at toilet humor as a kid, so I'm making up for it now.
Wow. Nice.
That
That's so sad, but I don't
pretty
feel
much-
bad for you.
you are
Pretty much
a
the only
weird
thing.
person.
The only thing I'll say before we end is if anybody out there in the audience is a Metroid fan, just a few more days, 1 week. This next podcast, I am gonna be bouncing off the walls about Metroid: Samus Returns. But until then,
Oh,
I think this is
man.
where we're gonna cap this off. So, thank you all very much for listening to the latest episode of the TTV Podcast. It's been fun. We learned a lot about life. We laughed a lot. And X probably got one of the top moments of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I thought it was quite funny anyway. We'll see if the fans share that opinion.
I hope
If you
to
want to
get
support
one
us,
one day.
what would you do?
I don't know. I'm not like funny enough to be in a top moment or anything.
You'd have to be a little bit more peppy than you are right now to get
Oh,
there.
buddy, I cannot be peppy.
Peppy.
Pepe
So
Le
if you wanna, if you want
you
to
do a
support
barrel
us,
roll.
go ahead and check us out on patreon.com/the TTV channel and consider becoming a $1 patron to get access to our live studio audience where you can have a ton of fun and join us for live podcast recordings. And also, board.ttvchannel.com is the place to be for all your LEGO discussions. It's quite awesome and we hope to see you all there. Every week we like to give a shout out to one of our patrons. This week's shout out goes to Razeri, I believe is how you pronounce your name. Thank you very much, Rosary, for continuing to support our content and for all that everybody here does to make this all worthwhile. It does not go unrecognized, and we thank you all. For now, this is all. See y'all next week. I'm Mesa.
Don't do milk, kids. I'm Var.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Ven. Test your limits.
I'm Takuma Nova.
What about chocolate milk? And I'm purple.
I'm A6.
Farewell, guys!
You talked over X, dude.
Alright, I just wanted to say that I'm the XX Trooper and drink all the milk!
Farewell, guys. Bye.
See ya.